Hello, my name is Robin Warner. I am a former engineer and magazine editor for multiple outlets, and I am driving a 2021 BMW 330e sedan. Now, the 330e sedan is a plug-in hybrid from BMW, and it doesn't start with the letter I. What? It is a properly good car, like one of the best BMWs I've driven in a while. But before I get too far, let me first show you around the car. The government classifies the 2021 BMW 330e as a compact car that seats 5. More importantly, it is powered by a 2-liter inline-4, producing a peak output of 181 horsepower and 258 pound-feet of torque. And that gets help from an electric motor producing an additional 107 horsepower and 77 pound-feet of torque. Put them together and they provide as much as 288 horsepower and 310 pound-feet of torque, which is healthy and makes me happy. That power then goes through an 8-speed automatic transmission and onto the rear wheels. Being a plug-in hybrid, it can also travel on electricity alone for 22 miles, depending on driving style and conditions, of course, and manages 75 miles per gallon equivalent combined fuel economy, or 28 miles per gallon if the battery is left uncharged. The base price for the 2021 BMW 330e is $45,545, and my test car costs, you might want to sit down, $59,645 for a compact car. For those that are interested, I included detailed specifications including dimensions and capacities in the description. All right, on this properly cold and blustery and snowy early February day in Michigan, we are looking at the appropriately painted Alpine White 2021 BMW 330e, and I have to say, I'm really just loving the shape of this car, all the little details and all that kind of stuff, the way the headlights are sculpted and everything else. A couple things to point out though. First of all, because this is, super efficient, there's some active shutters in the kidney grille right there. And there's your roundel BMW logo. See, told you it was a BMW. Inside the wheels, we have blue painted calipers because of the dynamic handling package, and those wheels are 19 inches, not 18-inch standard, because of the M Sport package. So those are 2 packages as a result of that wheel and tire combination. I'll tell you what, I really, really like it. Right there is not a fuel door. That is the charge port. The fuel door is where fuel doors are on all German cars, which is the passenger rear right there. And even though we are working with just 2 liters and 4 cylinders, we still have a proper dual exhaust. But I'll tell you what, it looks really nice, so I don't mind it. I don't mind it a bit. I have to say, I just really, really enjoy the shape of this car. All right, stepping inside. And the first thing you see, because it's pretty hard to miss, is the Cognac Vernasca leather. It is very soft and supple. It is a beautiful dark tan. It complements the Alpine White paint very well, and BMW charges $1,450 for it. Because this car has the executive package, I've got a heated steering wheel, heads-up display, and a bunch of other bits and bobs. You already saw my instrument cluster screen, and then I also have a nice big widescreen center console screen right there, and a whole lot of buttons to choose from, heated seats and stuff like that. And check it out, look at all those drive modes: Sport, Hybrid, Electric, Adaptive, and Auto H. Now, this compartment is pretty on its own, but underneath, cup holders and Qi wireless charging, as well as USB charging as well. Now, you don't need the USB for Apple CarPlay, that's wireless, and you don't need cord for charging either, obviously. This is seriously a wonderful interior. This white paint and tan leather inside really works for me, and I'm quite enjoying my time in this car. I wonder if this works. Oh yeah, you can see nice big moonroof as well. Despite the price tag, I think it's pretty obvious that I really like this car. I'm not exactly sure why. Maybe it's because I've grown nostalgic for my wife's 2006 BMW 325i that we had to give up not that long ago. Maybe it's just the simple fact that this alpine white paint with this cognac leather really speaks to me as an exterior-interior color combination. And maybe it's just that this BMW, with all the extra packages, you know, the dynamic handling package, the M Sport package, and all those things really combine to feel nice and tight and taut, and just gives a real proper sense of small compact sports sedan that I've been missing, and this car does it better than most. But it doesn't really matter. This car feels great. It feels great to drive, and it really looks good. I mean, the white paint, I think, complements the design, but it's a really nice design. The lines are clean and sharp. The way the headlamp is sculpted into the hood, and the way everything flows, it really works for me. And, you know, you could argue many, of the modern BMW kidney grills are really getting overwrought and oversized and a bit too loud. But here, the 3 Series grille remains subtle and refined, and still has that kind of like bring back to the original era that everyone loved from BMW of the late 90s and the early noughts, of just, or at least that was my youth experience of BMW, of just really growing to love this brand and this machine. Truth is, it's probably the combination of all those things that just sum up to really work together. Whatever it is, I'll tell you that the powertrain certainly isn't hurting. 288 horsepower, 310 pound-feet of torque in a plug-in hybrid. Those are not numbers that you're used to hearing. And the motor itself, it's a powertrain that's not only powerful, it's also pretty darn unique, because the engine is a 2-liter inline-4 twin power turbocharger, which is one turbocharger that has this twin scroll setup, which basically means that it can take exhaust gas from 2 different inlets and more evenly distribute it for a quicker spool up of the turbo itself. And here's what's crazy. Peak horsepower, 181 horsepower, but that's available between 3,800 and 6,500 RPM. So you have peak power for nearly 3,000 RPM, 2,700 RPM. So the turbo does not have to work hard to get to peak power, and it gets there early and just stays there and hangs out. And then you have something that BMW calls extra boost. No E, extra boost with an X. And that's 40 extra horsepower that you get immediately, like full power. And that's when you just kick the throttle down all the way, like just proper stomp on the gas, you know, kind of like this. That's quick. That's properly quick. And you know what? Doesn't sound bad either. That sounds like a nice sporty little 2-liter. That does not sound like a hybrid, does it? I mean, think about it. Is that what you'd expect a hybrid to sound like? I mean, to be totally honest, I kind of want to hear it a little bit more. Like, properly hear it, right? Zero to 60 in just 5.6 seconds, and a nice growly 2-liter motor. You got a proper dual exhaust out back that feels real, and you've got a lot of sport to work with here. So it's a plug-in hybrid, yes, but it's a fun car first and foremost. But okay, let's be real here. I'm in sport mode right now. Let's change it to hybrid mode. It gets quieter all of a sudden. I still have some battery charge left, and that's what is pretty incredible about this car, is not only does it deliver the performance that we just talked about, but it can go up to 68 miles an hour on the electric motor alone if it's in hybrid mode. If you put it in electric mode, it can go up to 87 miles an hour on pure electricity. So in the US, we don't have any autobahns here. That's highway speeds for any interstate in the country. And you can be on pure electricity. So if you have a short jaunt, even if you need to go quickly, you don't have to use any gasoline at all. That's impressive. Okay, but let's go ahead and go back to sport. That's more fun. So what you have here is a car with dual personalities, and both personalities are fantastic. One is a quiet, quite luxurious hybrid car that can provide a lot of comfort, warm hands, warm back and butt, all the amenities, a nice stereo, quiet ride, comfortable, all that kind of stuff. But then you can turn it on. You have a nicely weighted steering wheel, a properly stiff chassis, and a good responsive front end, and a darn decent amount of horsepower to work with here. This car, this plug-in hybrid, can still deliver a lot of the enjoyment that 3 Series, the classic iconic BMW 3 Series that I just remember from my youth so well, is delivered here. And I really love that. The steering, while we don't have good old hydraulic assisted feel that we did back in the day, the steering weight is spot on. Its steering has got a fast rack, it's direct, and it does provide some feel. And it's a responsive thing that I can use and still really enjoy. Critical. The body, the structure feels really solid and tight and taut. And the suspension is the right balance between comfort and sport. So you can live with the car on a daily basis and be quite comfortable while you do it, but you're never in an underdamped situation. The spring rate is nice and firm. Everything about this thing feels firm and tight and responsive and athletic. This thing weighs over 2 tons. I mean, it's got a 12 kilowatt hour battery pack underneath the rear seat, in addition to all the other stuff. And it's not a small car, even though it is a compact car. But it belies that figure. It feels lighter than it is. And that is like a classic BMW trait that in some regards I've kind of missed. And I feel like some of that is back with this car. Maybe it's just the right combination of packages, the dynamic handling package, the M Sport package, and it's the weight. Maybe it's just that I really, really, really like the white paint and the tan interior. But one way or the other, this car works for me. I don't care about the price tag. It feels worth the money. It's fun, it's comfortable, it's luxurious, and it's just a great, great car. And you can get 75 miles to the gallon if you want. There's a lot of good here. There's a lot of good. And you know what? The road I'm on is just about to get curvy, and I'm gonna have some fun. I'm Robin Warner. Thank you for watching. And I forget what I was gonna say. completely forget what I was going to say.